Welcome to my channel. Today, we explore one of the most decisive periods of World War II, the year 1944, when the skies were filled with the roar of aircraft, strategic bombings, and daring dogfights that would shape the outcome of the war. The air battles of 1944 were not just about machines, but about strategy, courage, and the relentless pursuit of victory. From the skies over Europe to the Pacific, every mission carried enormous stakes, and every pilot faced life and death challenges. By 1944, the tide of the war was turning. The Allies had gained momentum after years of intense struggle, and their air forces played a crucial role in weakening enemy positions and supporting ground operations. The German Luftwaffe, though still formidable, was stretched thin, facing constant attacks on multiple fronts. In Europe, the Battle of Normandy loomed, and air supremacy became critical for the success of the Allied invasion. Fighter planes, bombers, and reconnaissance aircraft were deployed in large numbers to ensure that supply lines, troop movements, and strategic positions could be disrupted or protected as needed. The skies over Western Europe witnessed some of the most intense aerial combat of the war. Allied bombers, including the B-17 Flying Fortress and B-24 Liberator, carried out massive raids on German industrial centers, railways, and military installations. These missions were often met with heavy resistance from the Luftwaffe, which deployed experienced fighter pilots and sophisticated anti-aircraft defenses. Despite heavy losses, the bravery and skill of Allied crews allowed them to carry out missions that significantly weakened German infrastructure and morale. Each sortie was meticulously planned, and every pilot had to make split-second decisions while facing flak, enemy fighters, and harsh weather conditions. In the skies, fighter aircraft like the P-51 Mustang and the Supermarine Spitfire provided crucial escort to the bombers, engaging in high-speed dogfights with enemy fighters to protect their formations. The Luftwaffe, using aircraft such as the Messerschmitt Bf-109 and Focke-Wulf Fw-190, demonstrated tactical ingenuity, often launching surprise attacks and ambushes. The encounters were fierce, and the skill, courage, and stamina of the pilots determined not only the outcome of individual battles but also the broader progress of the war. Meanwhile, in the Pacific theater, air battles continued to shape the conflict between the United States and Japan. Carrier-based aircraft and long-range bombers became the backbone of operations. Pilots executed precise bombing raids on Japanese supply lines, airfields, and naval vessels. The vast distances and treacherous ocean conditions added complexity to every mission, making navigation, fuel management, and coordination critical factors for success. Japanese pilots, determined and well-trained, mounted fierce resistance, turning each encounter into a life-or-death struggle for dominance in the skies. Technology played a defining role in the air battles of 1944. Radar systems provided early warnings, allowing pilots to intercept enemy formations before they could strike critical targets. Advancements in aircraft design improved speed, maneuverability, and firepower, giving the Allies a competitive edge. Intelligence from reconnaissance missions helped commanders plan strategic bombings and ground support operations with unprecedented accuracy. These technological innovations, combined with tactical skill and sheer courage, made the air campaigns of 1944 some of the most complex and decisive operations of World War II. The human stories behind these battles are remarkable. Pilots flew multiple missions, often in the face of overwhelming odds. Their determination, courage, and sacrifice were extraordinary. Many missions involved flying deep into enemy territory, sometimes without returning. The experiences of these men remind us that warfare was not only about machines and strategy, but also about human endurance, bravery, and the will to fight for one's country. Each victory in the air contributed to the overall success of ground campaigns, disrupted enemy logistics, and paved the way for major offensives that would ultimately lead to the Allied victory. In Northwest Europe, air support was instrumental during the liberation campaigns following D-Day. Strategic bombing of railways, bridges, and communication hubs hampered German troop movements and resupply efforts. Tactical air support protected advancing Allied forces, ensuring that ground troops could press forward with reduced resistance. The synergy between air and ground operations demonstrated the evolving nature of modern warfare, where air power became inseparable from overall military strategy. By the end of 1944, the combined impact of relentless air operations had severely weakened Axis capabilities. Germany struggled to maintain air defense against the growing strength and coordination of Allied air forces. In the Pacific, Japanese forces were forced into a defensive posture, with airfields destroyed and naval forces under constant threat from aerial attacks. The strategic and tactical lessons learned in these aerial campaigns would influence not only the final months of World War II but also the future of air warfare in the decades to come. The air battles of 1944 showcased bravery, innovation, and determination. Pilots faced extreme danger and uncertainty, yet their contributions were decisive in shaping the course of history. From the skies over Europe to the vast Pacific, air power proved to be a critical factor in the success of the Allies. Understanding these battles helps us appreciate the complexity of warfare and the incredible human effort that went into securing victory. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more historical insights and stories from World War II. The courage, strategy, and sacrifice of 1944's air battles remain a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought in them. The conclusion of the 1944 air battles is not just about machines and strategy, it is about the human stories, courage, and determination that made a difference in the outcome of the war. Many pilots returned from missions to find their airfields destroyed, their comrades lost, and yet they continued to fly, driven by duty and the hope of victory. These missions demanded not only skill but also extraordinary mental strength, as every sortie could be their last. Across Europe, the relentless pressure from the Allied air forces weakened the German defenses significantly. Factories producing war materials were destroyed, supply routes disrupted, and communication networks dismantled. The Luftwaffe, once feared for its dominance, struggled to maintain its effectiveness. The air campaign of 1944 demonstrated that control of the skies could dictate the pace of war on the ground. The efforts of bomber crews and fighter pilots alike directly contributed to the liberation of occupied territories and set the stage for final offensives in 1945. Meanwhile, in the Pacific, the strategy of island hopping relied heavily on air superiority. Allied air forces provided reconnaissance, close support, and bombardment that allowed ground forces to capture strategic positions from Japanese control. Each island seized brought the Allies closer to Japan, and the skies were critical in minimizing casualties and ensuring operational success. Pilots had to navigate treacherous weather, long distances, and the ever-present threat of enemy interception, proving that courage in the air was just as vital as strategy on land and sea. The year 1944 also highlighted the evolution of aerial tactics. Coordinated attacks involving hundreds of aircraft became common, combining bombers and fighters in massive operations. Night raids, precision bombings, and innovative maneuvers challenged the skills of pilots on both sides. The lessons learned during these battles would influence military aviation for decades, demonstrating the importance of coordination, intelligence, and technological advancement in modern warfare. Finally, the legacy of 1944's air battles is one of perseverance and sacrifice. The victories achieved in the skies were instrumental in shaping the ultimate outcome of World War II. They remind us that every aircraft, every pilot, and every mission had a role to play in the larger struggle for freedom. The courage displayed by those who flew under fire continues to inspire generations, emphasizing that the human spirit, when combined with strategy and technology, can change the course of history. As we reflect on the skies of 1944, we honor the bravery, skill, and dedication of countless men and women who contributed to these decisive moments. Their stories are not just about war, they are about determination.